What do unicorn sweaters, a quantum destabilizer, and sock operas have in common? Absolutely nothing. Unless you're in Gravity Falls, of course. Hi, I'm Alyssa with Channel Frederator, and we're here to check out even more facts. This is 107 more facts about Gravity Falls. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to become part of the notification squad. After 3 years, 2 seasons, and 40 episodes, Gravity Falls came to an end on February 15th, 2016. Mabel and Dipper ended their crazy and memorable summer at the Mystery Shack just in time to celebrate their 13th birthdays. The last episode of the series was written back in 2015, about a year before the finale aired. Since animation is such a slow process, creator Alex Hirsch had time to deal with the show ending, as he knew there would not be a 3rd season. In fact, Hirsch originally didn't want to make any more episodes after the 1st season. He had written every episode of season 1 before the 1st episode had even aired, and was concerned that people wouldn't like the show. Luckily, Hirsch's friends Pat McHale, creator of Over the Garden Wall, and Jon Stewart encouraged him to continue the show for a 2nd season. He couldn't have left season 1 on such a cliffhanger. For a long time, Hirsch wasn't even allowed to let anyone know that Gravity Falls was only going to be 2 seasons. Hirsch put together a live-action alternate reality game called Cipher Hunt, which ran from July 20th through August 2nd of 2016. The goal of Cipher Hunt was to find a statue of Bill Cipher by finding and decoding clues hidden all over the world. The first players to the statue would receive a prize, but Hirsch argued that the hunt was more about the journey than the destination. Some of the locations players visit along the way are the Kazan Cathedral in St. Petersburg, Russia, and Griffith Park in Los Angeles. The first few locations of the hunt made the shape of Dipper's birthmark, the Big Dipper, when connected together. For one prize during the hunt, fans could decipher a username and password that allowed them to sign on to a secret website and view the unaired original pilot for Gravity Falls. The Unaired Pilot followed much of the same plot of Tourist Trap, but with altered dialogue and wildly different character and art design. It's an interesting look into what the show could have been. Hirsch created the pilot in 2010, right after he graduated from Cal Arts, by drawing most of the storyboard on post-it notes. Disney then rush ordered the pilot from the studio, where he was working at the time, a low-budget flash animation joint in Canada. This pilot was only 12 minutes, half of what a regular Gravity Falls episode would be. This led to Wendy and Seuss not making the final cut, or the mysterious Journal 3. Instead, Dipper reads Dr. Crackpock's Book of the Dead, which, to be fair, sounds like a pretty wild book. In Tourist Trap, Dipper picks out his iconic blue pine tree hat, but this pilot shows Dipper wearing his hat throughout the episode. Hirsch has spoken many times about the autobiographical nature of the show, but cites the biggest inspiration as the dynamic between him and his twin sister, Ariel. Every summer, they were forced to visit their relatives out in the middle of nowhere, with no internet, TV, or fun around for miles. This encouraged them to use their imaginations to fill the void, and created a strong sibling bond. For the Monster of the Week format, Hirsch drew on his childhood obsession with the X-Files. For him, the show serves as a sort of wish fulfillment, with each episode presenting the characters with new adventures that Hirsch wished he could have had when he was younger. Hirsch was adamant in the writer's room that Mabel was not dumb. She just likes to mess with people and have fun, and she isn't worried about what others think of her. Hirsch did say Mabel's storylines were more difficult to write, as their source of conflict comes from the clash between her fantasy world and the real world. The character has to learn that she won't always get what she wants, and she has to balance her expectations with reality. Hirsch hit some pretty deep and resonant notes in Gravity Falls, and it makes sense that he didn't initially plan to write kids animation. He started his work on the kids series only after Disney approached him to pitch what would become Gravity Falls. The Simpsons were a huge comedic influence for Hirsch growing up, and showed him that animation could be as funny and smart as live-action television. Hirsch considered season 1 of the show to be an experiment, and wrote most of the serialized story action into the background to keep the central plot episodic. Season 2 picked up on the groundwork laid in the 1st season, and came out with a more grounded and serialized arc. Hirsch usually watched fans' reactions as new episodes would air, but during the series finale, he took a nap. When he woke up, he checked Twitter and was pleased with the overwhelmingly positive responses. A Real Life Journal 3 was released July 26, 2016, written by Alex Hirsch and supervising producer/story editor Rob Renzetti. The Real Life Journal 3 contains notes from Dipper and Mabel, as well as new pages filled with monsters and secrets never seen on the show. There's even a special edition of the journal that shows extra content to be viewed on the pages with a blacklight. Twin Peaks received one last shoutout in the series finale when Kyle MacLachlan voiced the bus driver that takes Mabel and Dipper home. Hirsch always wanted to have MacLachlan on the show, but could never find the right part. So when the end was near, Hirsch sent the actor a letter explaining how Dipper and Mabel are in many ways children of Twin Peaks, and that it would make sense for Agent Cooper to be the one that takes them home. Though it was never said on the show, Gravity Falls Journal 3 revealed that Dipper's real name is Mason. According to the official Journal 3, at the end of the summer, Journals 1 through 3 were tossed into the bottomless pit, which may or may not be a wormhole, but who knows if that's really the end of them. Stan and Ford have a younger brother named Shermie. Shermie Pine Pines is Mabel and Dipper's parental grandfather. Hirsch confirmed that millions of years ago, the entire bowl-shaped valley of Gravity Falls was formed when a UFO crashed into the cliffs around the town and landed. So the townspeople have bumped into little pieces of the UFO over time. It's one of the many reasons why the town is such an unusual place. In season 1, Hirsch originally outlined an episode that parodied the film Labyrinth, starring the late David Bowie. In the episode, the twins rent Labyrinth. Dipper keeps making fun of the movie, so Mabel asks the king of the Groblins to take him away. There's also a subplot where it's revealed Dipper only hates the movie because he's scared of puppets. Sadly, the Disney execs thought young kids wouldn't get the references. Interestingly enough, in sock opera, Dipper has no problem with the sock puppets. Maybe he got over his fear? In Weirdmageddon 1, there's a scene where Dipper and Wendy are driving through weirdness bubbles. They briefly become live-action versions of themselves, played by their real-life voice actor counterparts Jason Ritter and Linda Cardellini. In the series finale, Bill was originally going to sing a song about everything he'd do when he exits the rift. Hirsch said that they started writing the musical number, but cut it when they realized there wasn't enough time. The Zodiac shown and hinted at throughout the series was revealed in Weirdmageddon 3 Take Back the Falls to be a mystical human energy circuit that can generate a force strong enough to defeat Bill. Each character represents a symbol on the Zodiac in Weirdmageddon 3. Dipper is a pine tree due to his hat, Mabel is a shooting star because of her sweaters, Gideon is the pentacle because he has the symbol on his cape and the tended telepathy, Seuss is the question mark because of his shirt, Ford is a six-fingered hand because of his polydactylism, Robbie is the stitched heart due to his hoodie, which he's had since the 7th grade, Pacifica is the llama, seen on the sweater she borrows from Mabel, and Stan is the fish-like symbol because of his fez. Some of the symbols are more metaphorical, like the spectacles representing the scholarly Old Man McGucket, and Wendy is ice because she's cool and calm in the face of danger. Ford and Stan finally get to fulfill their childhood dream of sailing around the world mentioned in A Tale of Two Stans. An early sketch of Mabel included headgear, but Hirsch decided against it, thinking it would obscure her face too much. Mabel's favorite anime movie is The Cranky Girl Who Did Chores in Spirit Town, and she's seen it over 82 times. Almost as many times as I've seen Spirited Away. Gideon was partially inspired by a child psychic Hirsch's mother saw on TV. Hirsch felt like he would be a suitable and entertaining rival for Stan. Mabel, Dipper, and Stan have all been in the county jail thanks to one of Stan's family fun days, but only Stan has been to jail in Colombia. If Stan wants to travel anywhere, he's limited to cars, boats, and trains. He was banned from airplanes after petitioning to get July 13th banned from the calendar. Hirsch had said he pictures Pacifica getting a job at Greasy's Diner and working with Lazy Susan after her family loses Northwest Manor. Zeus's favorite anime is Neon Crisis Revelations Angry Cute Girl Annihilation. It's a good pick, but I wonder if he prefers the dubbed version. Journal 2 contains information on how to summon Bill Cipher, while Journal 3 has instructions on how to stop Bill if he is summoned. Smart thinking, Ford. Bill's original concept art had him as green instead of his iconic yellow. He was eventually switched to the latter after his green body looked too much like a leaf. Bill is like really old. He claims to be older than time or the universe, which would make him about 13.8 billion cosmological years old. He doesn't look a day over 30 to me! It's revealed that Bill is actually from the second dimension. This might be a reference to the fact that Gravity Falls itself is a 2D animated show. What do ancient Egyptians, George Washington, and Stanley Kubrick have in common? They've all been enlisted by Bill to build this portal. It was confirmed by Hirsch during a charity draw-a-thon that Deputy Durland and Sheriff Blubbs are a couple. The Mystery Shack was originally the home of Ford Pines, and he lived there during his studies of Gravity Falls. It was only after his brother had disappeared that Stan moved into the shack and turned it into the Mystery Shack in order to pay Ford's rent. But before it was the Mystery Shack, the ramshackle house was called the Murder Hut when it first opened. Sheesh, Stan, glad you lightened up. Have you ever wondered what happened to Giffany? Or is it Jiffany? Either way, don't worry, she's not dead. Hirsch confirmed at Big Fest 2016 in the Gravity Falls Journal 3 that she's still alive, somewhere. Manly Dan was called Boyish Dan when he was a boy, so I wonder if that means he'll be called Old Man Dan when he's old. Wendy's father makes her and her brothers train for the apocalypse during Christmas. You gotta be prepared, even during the most wonderful time of the year. Mabel and Dipper make fake IDs so they can get into the bar downtown in the episode Headhunters. Their fake names are Sir Dipping Sauce and Lady Mapleton, aged 45 and 21. In The Inconveniencing, Mabel's dolphin hallucination, Oshima, was named after Gravity Falls director John Oshima. Onward, Oshima! Dipper's clones number 3 and number 4 disappear after they ride off with Robbie's bicycle at the end of Double Dipper. They get one last appearance in the end credits of Weirdmageddon 3 Take Back the Falls. Mabel is able to wear nachos as earrings with the help of some very sticky nacho cheese. I'm jealous. In Irrational Treasure, Mabel and Dipper discover that the Northwest cover-up document also states that Thomas Jefferson was actually just two kids in an overcoat standing on each other's shoulders, and an enormous evil time-devouring baby from another dimension is frozen in an Antarctic glacier. And I bet that's just the tip of the iceberg. The pixel sprites in Fight Fighters were animated by Paul Robertson, who is known for Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, The Game, and The Feds. In the cold open of Summerween, scene, Mabel and Dipper pass a shelf of masks, which are actually the faces of crew who work on the show. Look closely and you'll see John Oshima, Eric Fountain, and Matt Brawley. When Mabel receives messages in bottles from Romando in the deep end, one of the bottles says the Bem, which is her name backwards. Maybe that's how they spell things under the sea? Before going to fight the bat in the kitchen in Dreamscaperers, Dipper picks up a spoon and a saucepan, which are both nicknames for the constellation the Big Dipper. And Mabel's sunset sweater in Dreamscaperers was meant to represent the show's transition from a light to dark series. In Sock Opera, Seuss and Stan's puppets are both made from paper bags rather than socks. A for effort, Stan. The VHS Clash of the Genres is rated O for old people. Little Gift Shop of Horrors originally had a twist ending where the visiting tourist was revealed to be M. Night Shyamalan. It's revealed in Blendon's game that Seuss lives on Chambrot Drive, which is a shout out to Hirsch's friend and inspiration for the character, Jesus Chambreau. Ford may have more than just the 3 journals we've seen. In the last Mabelcorn, Ford's dream contains red and blue journals with yellow 6-fingered hands on the covers, as well as a brown journal with a yellow triangle on the front. Weirdmageddon Part 1 is the only full-length episode of the series where Mabel does not speak. If the opening theme of Weirdmageddon 1 is reversed, Bill is heard saying, "I'm watching you, nerds!" Hirsch said that the second half of Season 2 covered the plot that was originally planned for Season 3. Ever wonder if Quentin Trembley, America's favorite lost president, had more of a backstory? Hirsch wished he had more time to include all of his thoughts and theories about Trembley's significance with the scope of the show. Stan was married to a woman named Marilyn, but she divorced him after being married for only 6 hours. Hirsch's grandfather, named Stan, also had a wife named Marilyn. According to Bill Cipher, the worst deal he ever made involved baking with a man named Thomas J. Beale. He also mentions that the ominous being on the other side of the mailbox is a real blabbermouth. In Gravity Falls Journal 3, ghosts are rated from not so deadly to demonic vengeance specter, which is real bad. The Time Baby can be easily distracted by jingling keys, which Hirsch mentioned in the In Between the Pines special. The infinity-sided die was brought back by Ford from another dimension. It's currently locked in the underground laboratory for safekeeping. In the series finale, Stan Pines retires and gives ownership of the Mystery Shack to Seuss. Hirsch has said his dream would have been to make a Gravity Falls feature film, and at one point Disney discussed it with him. In the end, they decided the show wasn't big enough to warrant it. But Hirsch said if someone would give him $50 million, he'd make a Gravity Falls movie. Come on, guys, let's get that Kickstarter going! Gravity Falls was nominated for Choice TV Animated Show at the Teen's Choice Awards every year from 2013 to 2016. Gravity Falls was nominated for an Emmy in 2014 and 2015 for Outstanding Individual Achievement in Animation. Ian Worrell won for Dreamscaperers, and Alonso Ramirez Ramos won for Not What He Seems. Hirsch had said that he remains open to continuing the series with additional episodes or a special, since there are a couple more characters and plots he'd like to revisit someday. While Gravity Falls is yet to release full seasons on DVD, there are 2 featurette DVDs that contain episodes from the first season. In February 2016, Disney XD released Take Back the Falls, a game-isode available on the Watch Disney XD mobile app. In the game, the user could either be Mabel or Dipper and play through the events of Weirdmageddon 3 Take Back the Falls. The message at the end of the theme song in the series finale read backwards says, "Goodbye, Gravity Falls." The series of Gravity Falls takes place from June to September 1st, 2012. Now that is one long summer. Once again, I'm Alyssa, and thanks for watching 107 more facts about Gravity Falls. Would you want to see a movie? Are you sad that the endless summer finally ended? Comment below and let us know. Don't forget to click the bell icon to become part of the notification squad. We have videos dropping every day, so make sure to subscribe. And remember, Frederator loves you.